Hello everyone. We'll see whether we get anyone decide to turn up, and we'll see what Bixbite does, and we'll go from there, hey? See if we can find some information on anything that's going on, because it's been quite an adventurous day, hasn't it? There's been quite a bit of action going on. A lot of accusations getting thrown around at the moment with the different things. So it'd be interesting to see, because it's just so many, like, it's almost like there's polar opposites in their viewpoints. Like, I know Bix and Jason and that are saying their thing against Nick, and Nick saying his thing against them, and like far out, it's just crazy. Like, where's the truth that's within it all? Like, it's like, normally I sit on the sidelines a fair bit and don't really get too involved, because hence I got a project. But the way this has gone down today, it's been an absolute shit show. It really, really has. And myself at the moment. So yeah, hopefully someone will join and throw a bit of light on what's going on, because this is just obviously stupid. And it's just crazy with so many absolute polar opposite with what's going on. So feel free to have a chat, guys, and let us know what you think. I know someone's trying to connect, so we'll just see what happens there. Hopefully we can put a bit of pressure out there and get Bix to join up, because obviously with watching, like, I've seen what's been transpiring in Vulcan, as well as what's been happening in No Name, and as well in the Brew. And it's it's an absolute mess. It really is a mess. And how do you mean no live chat? Well, yeah, I know. It's just crazy, isn't it, Bobtail? With it's just ludicrous. It seriously is. Just talk about wanting to make your head go, dealing with their shit. But let's see if we can get Bixbite to join up. Like, seriously, get some pressure on her, and see if we can get her in here and have a talk. Like, I'm the fairest person who's going around with, like, as a rule, I don't normally pick sides or get overly vocal with certain things, but, let them stand up and, put their foot forward and say what they want to say. Just get it off their chest, and just let us know what the hell's going on. Because at the moment, this is just bloody stupid. It seriously is. And I know I can keep talking like that all day long, going round and round in circles, but it's just like what you see in Discords and that at the moment is just crazy. Just a stupid amount of just he said, she said, allegations here, allegations there, and it's just like, okay, well, bring it on. That's where I stand with it all. Just have it out and speak about it. But that's where guys like tag Bits and get her to join the link. I'll put the link in Discord there to join the live stream. So because I don't have her on direct message anymore ever since she banned me or deleted me from her direct message. That was going back ages ago, but yeah. But just tell her to come on here and stop going backwards and forwards with all the stupid statements and stuff, and just spit it out. Just get on with it. That's all we want to do. Like I'm opening up the stage now, so let's just have it on. They all claim to know the truth, but nobody actually says anything to make the point. That's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just all bloody, it's just bullshit talk, just throwing allegations and stupid accusations at people. But, like, get on with the real stuff. Actually give us some definitive something. Like, of course they know what's going on and in on this mess. Of course, I've always spoken about smoke and mirrors. I've been used as smoke and mirrors on many occasions from Brian, etc., to take attention away from the shit that he was doing. Good morning, mate. Thank you. Bixbite is I know her as the lead on boarder of projects onto the Vulcan blockchain. And at the moment, she's throwing around lots of allegations in Discord, particularly in the brew, about Nick. And so we want to get to the bottom of this and try and get her on the live stream and say, hey, say your piece. Let's hear it. Yeah, I know. But why not put pressure on it? Just, these guys don't want to face up to nothing. But, that's why I just made a stage, because it's just like, hell yeah, just do it. I'm just talking to Chris at the moment. Because apparently he was talking to Bix last night. So we'll see if we can get any sort of answers from that side of things. Just hang tight, guys. Obviously this is a evolving space at the minute, and we're trying to at least, I sort of thought that I'd be more of a neutral person, because I don't normally, I'm not too outspoken. Yeah, I'll send Chris the link because I think he's going to join me. And so we'll see how we go. He might be able to fill us in on some information. Who knows? We'll just try and see what happens. But, normally, because I don't get too involved in the politics side of things, that's where I thought that I might be more of a neutral person to have a live stream with, because I don't really carry sides that much. I know I have an opinion, yes, and I have my free will and my free talk, yes, but I don't normally get too carried away with who's doing what and whatever. I sort of let you guys play it all out, and then so I sort of thought the Bix might actually have a go. But we'll see. We're just right. So Chris is interviewing Nick in an hour, right? And yeah, I know. At the moment, it's not. That's the clear, hard fact. Is that right here, right now? It's not. It's not that this is a complete impasse, but you know, like if you're going to put percentages on it, you would certainly wager that it's not going to happen. And there's no doubt about that. You know, like Nick has posted a breakdown of the 2.4 million costs and also a video of the work done. Yeah, I've seen the video. Yeah, on the rebase and the fire pit. Yes. Yeah, I know. And that's the whole point, is that I've seen that evidence myself tonight. It's tonight where I am, by the way. And you know, like I've seen that. So that's where, like, when they say that he hasn't met his milestones, I find that a little bit difficult to believe. That, you know, like, it seems to be that Nick is showing evidence to support his case that, you know, obviously I'm not being absolutely specific on exactly the milestones as such, but it sounds like he is making showing that he actually is doing stuff, and it's all sort of happening within the scope of what you would imagine it would be up to. So yeah. Thank you, OPZ. Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone, for joining in. Hopefully we can get, I know it's drawn a long bow, but I just thought that because I'm more on the neutral side, because, you know, like, I've obviously been protecting my own projects and stuff, so obviously I don't want to get too vocal on the negative or the positive side, because it's just, I've got to let it play out, of course. Yeah, that's right. No, it's called No Name, isn't it? You know, I'm on his Discord. Oh, it's called New Name. Oh, yeah, New Name. Sorry, I thought it was No Name, but it's New Name. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. So obviously, feel free to join that Discord, because it's good to get a variety of views and to see what's going on. So it's good to join those Discords and see. Good evening or good morning to you, Chris.
Yeah, I want to take the opportunity to apologize to you, man. All that stuff that happened yesterday, and then when it was all said and done, I guess I can put it out there now. Um, I received a phone call from Bix
Yep.
last night. It was the second time that I had talked to her, and
Yep.
that's who I was on the phone with till almost like I think I got off the phone with her at like 3:30 or something like
Yeah,
that.
it's
So I'm like,
amazing how time flies when you're doing that sort of stuff. Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Do you
and
want
then
to let us know any sort of thing that was transpired in the conversation at all?
yeah,
Is there
yeah,
any
I can tell
particular
it all.
voice?
I mean, she
Yeah,
she
okay.
brought out the
Yep.
fact that to let it
Because
all out.
Jesus, like, just before you say anything, Jesus, polar opposites. You know, the sledging that's going on at the moment from Nick's
Mhm.
camp and the other camp, far out, man. They couldn't be any more different if you tried. They
Well,
are really throwing bombs. So
this is
what's
the part
going
that
on?
bothers me about the whole situation is that okay, we have we have uh we have an investigation that's supposed to be going on with Brian, right? So that seems like that's in the works or whatever. But then we have this investigation that comes out with Nick, and it just so happens to come out at this timing. So the timing is just crazy. But then on top of that, my situation here is so we're analyzing what Nick was paid, and if Nick was overcharged or whatever,
Yep.
to me that's a part that maybe they can work that out and everything like that.
Yep.
But where the hell's the investigation of the legitimate amount of money that Brian
Yep.
supposedly was paid? Where's
Yep.
the legitimate investigation of what Jason was paid over the last year or
Yep.
2 years? I mean,
Yep.
we're sitting here talking about Nick being, overcharging or whatever. Okay, you know what? It seems like that's pretty high to me. It seems like that. I don't think that I don't know that stuff, and I deal with Bob a lot. I mean, Bob is very
Yeah.
respected to me. So
Yeah.
Bob
Yeah.
says that's a whole lot of money. Okay, so maybe Nick can
Yep.
explain that, or hey, Nick seems to be charging a whole lot for his services. But that the key there is that is his services, and it was agreed upon, and they paid it all along up until the last bit. Now it's different.
Okay.
So,
Now, right
but
at the moment,
just
guys.
one more thing,
Yeah.
one more
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Go for it. Yeah. Go.
So now we're saying that we've overpaid Nick. Okay, so what have we paid Jason? Okay, we're making this public record as to what
Yep.
what Nick has overcharged and all that stuff. What has
Yep.
Jason been paid?
Yep.
That's what I want to know. What has been
Yep.
the payroll that he is actually paid? Has he taken a pay cut? Is this is what is going on? Okay, that's important. But the fact that we don't know that stuff and then we're pointing fingers at everybody else, look, they probably all were overpaid. And except for, I have to say that I know Bix, and I think that she's been taken advantage of, you know,
Yes.
through all this stuff. So, I'm
Yes.
not going to throw her under the bus, but if she wants me to announce anything at all as to our conversations, our conversations were basically me telling her that she's in a room full of vipers and she needs to get out of this. She needs to move
Yep.
away. And I even told her, I said, look, no one's going to listen to anything that you say if you are aligned with Jason.
Yep.
Period. Period.
Yep.
Nobody
You
even
can't.
cares. You can
Problem
bring
is, it.
facts
Yep.
and data, and they will still be like, "We're not listening to you because of Jason." So
Yep.
my point is, okay, let's see what Jason was paid. Let's see what Jason received for his what was he technically the CFO and everything like that.
Mm.
So what was Jason being paid to do his job while his buddy was stealing right from underneath of us? And like I said on Daniel's live when all this stuff came out, all of them would have been arrested in the real world for when this came out that all these funds are lost. So
Yep.
let's point fingers at Nick. Let's hold him accountable. Did you overcharge? Okay. Well, I mean, they agreed upon it, so I don't know how you could be upset with Nick, but what could we really do? Anything. But then we're not looking at what Jason was paid. I mean,
Okay.
what was Jason paid? That's my
Chris,
whole point, and that's the whole thing. But if anybody you have
what?
any questions about any conversation I had with Bix or anything like that, I'll make the screenshots available. The two conversations that we had, they were not recorded, but Greek was on the one with me, and last night it was just me and her on there, and I pretty much told her the same thing that I've been telling her,
Yeah.
and she's a firm supporter of what Jason is doing, and I'm a firm supporter that Jason is about as dirty as any of them out there. So
Right.
Jason
Now.
is Brian Legend 2.0 to me. I've told her that, and if Jason has anything to do with anything,
Yep.
I don't want to have to do with it at all. I don't want to have anything to do with anything that Jason said. He's had months, well, not months. He's had ever since Brian deleted
Yep.
the Discord to come out and be the
Yep.
leader that we wanted. He could have taken all the issues that he was associated with Brian, and he could have squashed those. But no, he chose to stay silent. He chose to say that we're going to go with Nick's plan and everything like that. And then when we vote on it, we're not going Nick's plan now. We're going into a totally different direction. Oh, okay. So what sense does that make? Why was there a vote? Why did you put it out there? Why did you do all this stuff? If you were like, oh, he's been overcharged. Well, okay, he's been overcharged. How much have you overcharged, dude? How much money have you raked in? And how much money of what Brian took did you receive? Did you receive any of that money? Did you receive it inadvertently and you didn't realize it? Brian gave you a little bit of bonus here because you're doing a good job or something like that, but it was from ill-gotten gains or it was stolen funds. I mean, we're not even talking about Jason, but we're looking at Nick now. So to me, it's like this is very convenient right before the whole launch and everything like that that's going on. So, but when it comes to Bix and everything like that, I'll release anything anybody wants to see or anything like that. But you know, she's
Chris.
been manipulated through this whole entire thing.
Chris.
So
What
people
I
might want to take
believe.
a breath.
What I believe is going on is this is a classic. This is what they do every single time, and they've used this
Yep.
against me. It is an absolute
You're
play.
the case study. I'm telling you, I
Yeah.
went back and I watched everything that was going on with you,
Yes.
and you are the
I
case
know.
study of all
I know.
this stuff.
I know, and I've lived on the other side, and I've been through all of the shit, so I get it. And I know I've had a lot of the community make up to me, and they get it. But the thing is that I see that's happened here is an absolute classic case of Jason has stayed quiet for however many. How long has it been since Brian's left now? Supposedly left crypto and crying, right? And
Let me interrupt you real quick, Keith. I went
yeah,
through. I had a conversation with Brian, my first one ever, and he wrote a
yep,
book. And in that book, I was scanning through it this morning. I was like, "Is there any information that people would like to see or anything like that in here?" Kind of not, but I can release it. Also, he puts out there. He basically is telling me this was July 28th, so a few weeks ago. He
yes,
at that time was telling me personally that Nick's got a good plan and this is what we're moving forward with. And this is we want Nick to launch the blockchain and all that kind of stuff. He's telling me that July 28th in private messages. So
Well, the way that I see it is that now they haven't come out and said anything, and Jason has actually shut up, and Nick defended him and saying that why would he want to come out into a hornet's nest, right? Because of course everyone's going to throw, but he should have, and he hasn't come out and said anything at all to the community. And the first time that he does, guess what? Is that he's throwing bombs at Nick. He's bringing into doubt about Nick and everything about Nick. I've seen lots of conversations. I certainly haven't seen it all, but all the conversations that I've seen have been about Nick's done this, Nick's done that. And it's like, and it's painting like, oh, you know what, and then people are saying, oh, what about you guys? Oh, but Nick's done this, Nick's done that. You wait until the truth comes out and you see it. Nick's done this, Nick's, and it's like, you serious? Like, you're not even going to say anything about your own actions or inactions or competencies or anything. And it's just ridiculous. Like, the first thing they come out with is throwing bombs. It's like, I know who I'm going to believe, and that's not the person just coming out sledging and throwing bombs. You've got to make your case in a professional, ordered manner. Like, if he's got a case, that's fine, but he's got to deal with the past first. He's got to come out and deal with the Brian stuff first, explain how the hell Brian managed to still be a signatory on a wallet that he put out there that he was no longer anything to do with Vulcan. And that was on that question and answers that they released, where it was said that Brian had nothing to do with it at all. And we find out that he's actually got the purse string still. Of course, you know, like, we always knew that. We just weren't sure how it was going to come out. And, you know, like, it's just a clear look over here while I'm fucking you over here. It's just the classic shit of what they do all the time. And that's what they've done to me on a few occasions. And it's just like, that's why I'm making a live stream tonight, because it's like, I'm sick of their just total shit that they just using this as a smoke screen, and all Bix has done is carry on in Discord, like in the brew, sledging and going on. Okay, Bix, I've invited you onto the live stream. Have a talk. You know, like, I'm the most neutral person. I've got a project, so I've got to stay more neutral than many other live streamers. So then come onto a live stream with me. I will listen you out and then explain your case, and let's have a discussion. I'm not going to throw bombs at you. I'm going to treat you in an ordered, professional way.
Right. And if she asked me, I'd be like, yeah, go on with Keith. He's a great guy. I wouldn't. But you got to be careful with Bix, because Bix has been fed this line of crap from Jason.
I know that.
And Brian the whole entire time, and she. But
that's not the point. Bring the proof.
Right. Even if, but my point is that the analysis that Bix has done,
I know,
it's a very fair analysis, and Nick needs to address any kind of questions that anybody has and everything like that. But my point is, let's talk about this in the business aspect of it. Okay, so I'm going to take this as a business person. All right. So I have a contract with somebody to do something for me, right? And we have milestone payments throughout. Okay, and we're paying these milestone payments. Well, if I'm not checking those milestones, that's on me, but I'm making those payments. Okay. So you're telling me that they didn't do a full stop, 6 months ago, well, after Brian left, whatever, or even a month ago, they didn't do a full stop and say, look, we've already paid you all this money. Where is all this stuff? And did, like, if you can't rectify this and do this, we're going to have to terminate our contract with you and move somewhere else. And tell the community.
They haven't come out and said anything until Nick done his thing. And that's exactly what I was talking about.
Wait, all of a sudden, while we're doing our investigation into Brian, because this is what I think happened. Is I think legitimately Bix is out there wanting the truth. She wants to do right by the community. And I've even told her, if she doesn't, if Nick walks away and doesn't do anything, she should be the one that steps up and takes the multi-sig and takes all of it and push all those guys out. Get out. Because I truly think that Big's motivations are for what's best for the community. Okay, she might come across wrong and everything like that because of her association, her guilt by basically being around Jason,
Yeah.
which is an absolute dirtbag. I don't even understand how people have any kind of sit around and think that for 1 second that Jason did not know that his best mate was stealing millions and millions from our community.
We
And
understand
then
that, but of course they've got their due process. They've got to
yeah,
go
yeah,
through.
but even if it does, I mean, he can easily come out and really build that separation for all, for the whole entire
Correct.
community. But he doesn't.
Correct.
He remains silent, and then he talks about he talks about how great Nick is and everything like that. So my point, if it was a business, I would have terminated the contract a long time ago if Nick couldn't have shown proof of like the milestones that he was supposed to do. This wouldn't have
Correct.
been the last minute thing. And then after you've paid him so much to finish the job, the cost that he's going to incur and the things that they're going to come up with by moving away from what Nick is wrapping up right now, and especially after the whole entire community has voted and the majority of the people, I mean, a mass majority of the people were like, yeah, we want to see Nick's
In
plan
their
through.
unofficial vote.
Right. And they say it's an unofficial vote. And it's like, oh, okay. So now, why weren't you telling us that before the vote? Okay, guys, you guys can vote, but this is going to be an unofficial vote. It's kind of like a reaction vote in the Discord,
They shifted the narrative after, post fact.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just to suit their own agenda. And so come out and have a mature conversation with us, because it's the only way you're going to get anywhere is by having a mature talk. And, like throwing all this, going on Discord and just throwing sticks and stones
you know
at everyone
what?
is.
I need to interrupt you right now because I'm telling you, this is what I predicted, and I even told Bix. I told everybody. Here it is. Read what Roy Kelly just put on the screen about Jason, about Daniel's live at 2 p.m. today. Just right there. Now the gang is all back together, man. The gang is all back together. This Brian has been in the behind the scenes the whole entire time, and we've been taken advantage of this whole time. And I was hoping for this separation. That the way that these two guys ganged up on Daniel repeatedly about what he was doing and everything, and then now the gang is all back together. I mean, what a bunch of despicable human beings.
I'm sorry, Daniel. I'm sorry, Daniel. If you've really done this, you have really, really gone to a whole new level, mate. Because
I was willing to listen to Jason, but and then now Brian Legend's involved in it. And Darren, I'll tell you right now, I'm even more. If Jason and Brian are going on with Daniel, I am 1,000%. I was willing to listen to what Jason had to say, but now I'm like, you are just like. You guys are just the same. There is no redemption for Brian Legend at all. And if Jason is doing, I'm going to go in. Nick goes on at 12 p.m. Eastern, and then like 2 hours after that, that's when Daniel will have them on. Yeah, come on, guys.
And what this brings into question with me is, like how they did the he's a scammer. Their Twitter posts and stuff. Remember back to the One ordeal, and Brian put a tweet out there saying that One is a scam. It's a scam. And as soon as I handed over the contract, he deleted the post, right? It was never a scam, guys. It never happened. It was all just bullshit. And I even have a investigator look through that, Kevin White. He investigated the blockchain, and guess what? I have it in video proof. And you can look in my live streams and see it, the live stream with Kevin White. And to save you time, I can even give you the timestamps as well. All between 1.5 to 2 hours, somewhere around there. Have a look at the live stream, and it clears all of the doubt to do with what happened at One. But that's exactly what happened to Daniel and Brian. It seems like it's all the same smoke and mirrors, and it's just like, it almost is like they're talking in direct message behind the scenes, having a big laugh about it, just saying, I'm going to throw bombs at you, and but don't take it personally. I'm just fucking around because we've got this little, like, are you really doing that, Daniel? Like, seriously, are you really just playing us? Have you been playing me? Because like I direct message you and I talk to you, honestly and privately about stuff. Are you actually like feeding that information that I give you on to others? Like I not that I really give you information, but the point is that are you feeding on our private messages to Brian? Like, is that what you're really doing? I'll get him on direct message now. I'll see if he's around. Sorry, I've got that many on my list. I've got to find him.
Yeah, and I know, and it's got to be heartbreaking to some aspect because of the fact that didn't Brian just pay money to put a tweet out to say Brian that
Yep.
Daniel's project is a scam and all that kind of stuff. And like I know that Daniel, I heard that Daniel was pretty upset about it and everything like that. It's like this dude's even abusing Daniel and stuff like that, you know. And it's
No.
like you know what, they all deserve each other. That's so ridiculous. Brian has been behind the scenes pulling the strings the whole entire time, and they're
Oh.
just taking advantage of all of them. So, and everybody
I,
that's involved, I don't want to hear from any of them at all. I want to hear
I'm.
what
I'm.
Nick's plan is today, and I'm moving forward. These people are childish, immature. It's disgusting that we don't have. We're talking about Nick, but we're not even talking about what was Jason
The
paid, what was
the
Brian
Nick
paid.
the Nick is not the story. I can
Yeah,
guarantee you that.
yeah,
That is not the story. That's going to be, as much as people might say, oh, 1.6 or 2.4 million, it doesn't matter. It's not going to be the story. The story is what you don't see just yet. Um, like, believe that you could almost take that to the bank and you'll be right.
yeah.
Because, like, I'm sure you're just being sold a shit
I mean,
narrative.
yeah, I don't know the
Oh,
situation with.
oh, this sort of conversation. Who knows? Like, yeah, we
Yeah,
get
but
all that
at
sort
the
of
same
stuff.
time, I could see
Um,
that I could see that them saying that
no
if
doubt.
Nick's plan and everything like that, Nick needs to do certain things to basically set it up that there is not a
Yeah,
slow bleed and everything. But honestly, I mean, Nick is to me, and I think that people out there have seen this. Nick is willing to have a conversation with people and make adjustments and stuff like that.
but
So
that's
I
the
don't
point
know.
that I was about to make. Is that what Nick normally does? He comes up with a plan. He posts it to the people. He gets the feedback, of 100 different sorts. And then he makes the relevant adjustments and then puts it back out there again. And then if it needs any more adjustments, then does so. And then, of course, you come up with the final plan. Like, seriously? Like, of course, the plan the dev might see here and now could be one that causes a slow bleed. We get that. But of course, you're only talking about someone's interpretation of what they think the market's going to do. So you've got to be a little bit careful with that because there's a lot of variables that come into it.
Yeah,
Like, it's not just always black and white that a protocol is good or not good, say, for argument's sake. There's other things that can come into it that can affect it. So, yeah, look, I have it in message where Prado supports Jason 100%. I know that absolute. And I also have it in message where he reckons that Brian is an absolute scumbag, lying scammer. But in the same message, he's saying that it's all to do with Jason and all to do with Brian and nothing to do with Jason. So
yeah,
where's the
but
truth when they're
and
all going to
that's
get
that's
together?
that's
I
that's
don't
all
know.
weird because
I know.
the other day when we were on a live or something like that,
Okay.
or Nick was on a live, I saw a comment from Daniel saying, Nick, we're 100% behind you. And he says something about Nick said something about diversity. I think it was with you and Chalk Talks live, and
Yeah.
he said something about Nick talked about diversity, and
Yep.
Daniel was like, the ladies of Worldwide are
Yep.
support this and everything like that, and he was saying that he supported him 100%. Okay, so you have the revelation that Nick was paid
Wow.
$2.4 million for the blockchain and isn't finished and needs 135,000 to finish it, or to get it going to the next level. And that's your turning point on that. I mean, I need to see a little bit more about the details. I think it is pretty high. I think it's astronomically high, but at the same time,
Oh,
I'm not throwing the baby out with the bathwater, you know.
My
So
talks to Bob, like I get on with Bob really, really well, and Bob really knows his stuff. And in my opinion, he really
right.
knows his stuff. Right? Bob is an awesome guy.
Yeah, and these are the
Um,
same people that have been banning Bob from all their discords and talking crap about him for the last year and a half and everything.
because
But
they
now all of a
don't like
sudden, Bob is the person that they're going to listen to. It's like, well,
they
why weren't you
don't
listening to Bob? A year ago when he was out there saying that Brian's scamming money and
because they
that
don't want to know the truth.
right,
That's the thing, and they're all in on it and want to play the long game. To like it's like a slow scam where it just keeps going for the long time, and like who knows what the end game is because it's still happening as we speak. So, watch this space. We'll see what happens. There's obviously a lot to transpire still. Exactly what that's going to look like. Obviously, we'll just have to. We're just mere passengers, and so we'll just see who's throwing the right sort of sticks and stones, who can back up their allegations, who can, justify their invoices, all that sort of stuff, their receipts. Sorry, I'm just reading the messages for a second. It's a bit hard for me to do both things at once. Yeah, that's right. That like of course the BL's just going to come on and spin the whole narrative shift.
yeah. Well, this is
That's
this is a
exactly
part of
what
the
they've done
plan,
right
though.
now. That's what
This
they've.
is a part of the plan, though. This is what I
Yeah,
was telling him. I was like, okay, now that we know that Brian is still on the multi-sig wallet, okay, Brian's been pulling the strings in the background. Yomp is mysteriously failing and everything like that. He's whatever he's doing over there. Then now he's going to be like, this is what I said. This what I said. I don't know if I said it live on the X Space or whatever, but what it's going to be is Nick is a bad dude. The only person that can save us is Brian Legend. We have to bring him back so that he can save the
he
blockchain.
said it. He said it on his live stream. Brian said it on his live that I'm gonna be back.
Well, you know
Remember,
what? After this point, if
he
people
said
in the
it.
community
He
don't
said
know
it.
that they're being played by Brian, Jason, and I hope that Daniel is in a different, I hope that he's just bringing it out there for them to see it. But it sounds like Daniel's, on board with Jason and everything like that. But if they don't see that Brian and Jason together are ripping off this community and abusing them on a daily basis, if you don't see that, I don't know what could possibly what will be the decision point for you to realize they are completely trashing you and taking advantage of you. It's ridiculous for them to even have that kind of conversation with that guy. And like I said, I would have listened to Jason. I would have listened to him. I don't think I would have been. I'd have been like, "What? Let's ask some questions. Why haven't we seen what you have been paid?" If we're talking about Nick, and if he's like, "Yeah, I'm glad to show that stuff." Okay, well that eliminates that problem. Let's move to the next one. I would have listened to him, but I absolutely refuse to have any conversation with Brian Legend, and I refuse to listen to any of his garbage that comes out of his mouth. I mean, remember, this is a guy that has trashed everybody, everybody for everything they've ever done. Never takes
I know.
accountability. He mocks the community with the first YouTube that was him fake crying and everything like that. And that he was a multi millionaire before Seifu. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I'd like to get his family on a little bit on that.
I know, and like me, like many other projects, have been at the wrath of that. Like
Um,
we've been.
Roy Kelly says, "My bad. It's just Brian. Sorry, my mistake. All I got a notification from a reliable source that it is Brian and Jason at 2. So unless they changed it, whatever. But that person in direct contact said that it was BL. BL and Jason will be on it too. And it said actually hold it under your hat until he posts the thumbnail, and then he posted the thumbnail. So I read the message after all that stuff happened. So I think Roy Kelly, I know you don't want to put out false information and everything like that, but the information I got too, separate from you, was that it was going to be Brian and Jason. But
I'm direct messaging Daniel at the moment, and I've asked him about that, whether it was a combination or just one or the other,
well,
or whether it was two
and
of them or just one or the other.
this is the
And
problem that I have with Jason, with Daniel having Brian Legend on. Jason, Brian, Daniel has been has been a huge supporter of Brian for a very long time, and he's probably made some decisions he's probably not proud of or whatever, and he's even talked about him. Now this guy trashes him constantly whenever he goes through a little hissy fit or whatever, and Daniel ends up being the brunt of whatever Brian's spitting out of his diarrhea mouth. But then he goes and makes tweets and pays them to boost the tweets to talk crap about about Daniel's project. And listen, I disagree with Daniel on a lot of things, but I don't want to see a train wreck like this, man. I would like to see Daniel start off his live with "You're the biggest piece of crap," and I wanted you to come on here so I could cuss you out, and then boot him off the live. I mean, this guy there's no redemption for anything that he does. He continues and then he goes and says, "I didn't do anything wrong," and then he bashes like individual people. What he said about Greek wanting to rip off his beard and stuff like that. What are you talking about, dude? You just ripped off the community for millions of dollars, and you mock them with this ridiculous token that you have. Whatever Greek says, Daniel Prado or any of us should be like, you basically avoid all of us, because I mean, Greek has been doing videos about you and everything like that. And I think in our lives, we've talked a little bit about, the king of the egghead. And I don't know if it was Roy Kelly. Somebody yesterday came up with a new saying, and I really liked it. It might have been Daryl Everett. I'm not sure, but I was like, oh, I haven't heard that one. I like that one. But beside the point. But I just hope that, Daniel, it's like, even if Daniel gets on there and he tells him all the issues that he has and everything like that, and they have okay, I apologize, I'm sorry, that kind of a moment and everything like that. And I'm just like, okay, I'd be very gun shy, because the next time Daniel says something that Brian doesn't 100% agree with, or he gets intimidated by what Brian said, or what Jason, or what Daniel says, Brian's going to go all unhinged and be like screaming and cussing at Daniel and paying money to get people to um, not buy into his token, or he's going to trash it or something like that. Daniel's token seems to be doing better and everything. It's doing way better than Yomp, and he's got the upper hand. And I would just leave that guy on the curb, dude. I wouldn't, if I was Daniel, I wouldn't have anything to do with Brian. Jason,
I'll give you a bit of a tip. When you're a project owner, you try not to bring controversy to your project.
Yes.
You really don't want to do that. That's why, hence, as a rule, I sit on the sideline and I either pass information on to you or I hear from you in the behind the scenes, rather than jump on the live streams when there's controversial stuff being spoken about, because I just don't need to feed the community any sort of rubbish. Right. Okay. I don't need to do that for my project. Good, bad, or indifferent, you call it whatever you want, but that's just the way I am. When you sort of got to be protective of your own community, there, you've got real people with real investments, that are relying on you to do whatever it is that you got to do to return hopefully a reward for them. And like, your presentation to other people is super important, the way you compose yourself, the way you talk. So you've just got to not, well, in my opinion, you just got to not really run like extremely sort of lines. You've got to be more diplomatic and just more just conservative, I suppose. Maybe some communities like the radicalness, I don't know, but I don't think that's really a way forward for a project that you have heart in. That's
Mhm.
why, as a rule, I don't do that sort of stuff. The reason why I've done this tonight is, and am happy to talk a little bit more, is because I'm obviously invested in Vulcan a lot, and my project is invested in Vulcan. I can see what's happening, and I can see that Nick's getting thrown under the bus without his due process of getting, having his say. He got banned from, or timed out from, Vulcan Discord, where he couldn't even say his piece and defend himself. So they did, they did the authoritarian rule, which is to silence your opponents, and they just stopped him from having a say. And so he hasn't been able to even defend himself or put his case at
Wow.
all in that, and hence why he made that other little Discord. Is just so people can get together, and it's forming a split in the community, and it's just
Yeah,
not the way
but
it's
to
supposed to
be
be.
honest,
So
Keith, the split has been there all along.
I,
Because if you
I
think
look, believe
about
me,
it,
I know
they
that.
had
I
no
know
plans
that.
of putting him on the multi sig. They had no
Yeah.
plans to do all these things. Brian was still involved when we were told repeatedly by Jason that I think XTZ from Brewfied has been putting out a screenshot where Jason says that I don't know how much more clear I could be that Brian is not involved. Well, you weren't that clear, dude, because he's still on the multi sig. So, and it's like people are like, okay, well that doesn't mean anything. They need the other signers. Okay, so if there's 4 people on the multi sig, then the 3, Jason and Adrian and Damien, could vote to remove Brian, so that would be fine. So there'd be 3 of them on there, but that wasn't done. Why wasn't that done? Because Jason, it needs Brian. That's why it wasn't done. Jason needs Brian, and that's the issue. That the deception behind the scenes was Brian was purposely not taken off the multi sig because Brian and Jason are the same, one and the same. So, I hope that they yeah. So
Come on,
yeah,
guys, keep pressuring Bix to join us
oh,
on live stream. I keep
Knob,
putting it out there for
knobhead
her.
knobhead is what Roy Kelly. I don't think that Bix will. I think she gets a lot of
I
heat.
don't think I
The
don't think she will either. But if she wants a decent
Mhm.
conversation, then look, we're not going to be aggressive or
Everything
anything. We just want to listen to what she
the
has to
problem
say.
with Bix right now is that Bix has legitimately spent her time investigating, right?
Yep,
Now, I believe that she was steered to investigate certain ways and she's just running where the information's at and she's being
yep,
steered and
yep,
manipulated behind the scenes by Brian and Jason,
yep.
so I think
Yeah, they've got
that's
their
what happened.
agendas.
Yeah, they
They've
have
got their
agendas,
agendas.
and they were
Yep,
pointing her in that direction, and she's following
yep,
the truth. And I think
yep,
she does it. I think she does great work. The problem with her right now is she's taken so much abuse from all kinds of different people because of her association with Jason that she's immediately on the defense on every conversation that you have. So I've told her she needs to get away from them. She needs to get out of that whole thing. Oh, hey, Sky High. Yeah, I didn't get it.
I'll-
I missed your call earlier, buddy. I'm sorry about that.
I'm trying, like,
Oh,
Daniel
so
Daniel replied to me direct message, but I asked him, still on I'm stuck on that, whether it's just one or the other or both.
I want to clear
Um
something up. Hold on a second. I want to clear something up. Yeah. If Jason is not going on with Brian and everything like that, I might have been too harsh with Jason and everything like that because I will listen to him. But if he associates himself with Brian in any
yeah,
way, I mean
yeah.
any way,
Mm.
I don't want to have anything to do with whatever Jason says. But I guess Dave L says that from Bix, I just asked Jason if he was going on DP's live, and he said no. So that's what Bix is saying that Jason said he's not going on there. So Roy, everybody, I think you're right. The fact that it's just going to be Brian, and then now I'm more concerned about what in the world is Daniel thinking, man? Because unless Daniel's bringing him on there to kind of just make fun of him.
That just takes my breath away. It really does. I
Yeah.
wish that Daniel would answer my direct message and just let me know, because
So
I
then
seriously,
this is me just thinking, but has this whole rift between Brian and Daniel back and forth and everything, has this been a setup all along? Has this
well,
been a setup all along?
that's what I want to ask Daniel. That's
Dude,
what I want to
you're
ask him.
bringing on
Well,
Brian Legend, a guy that has personally made it his like agenda to try to trash everything that you're doing in your community. Ah, I don't know.
I know
But
it.
Nick is going to be on in a half an hour. Let's listen to what he's got to say. If Jason and Bix and they want to come on, they can come on, or they should go on. They can do whatever they want. I'm willing to listen to Jason, but I'm willing to listen to Jason as far as he moves away from Brian. I think he should have been doing that all along. Um, I don't really want to hear it anymore. Jason, maybe you should release what you've been paid. The payroll to everybody else. I think
We
that's
definitely.
personal. I think that's personal. What Bix has been paid and all,
Oh
and
yeah, that sort of
I
stuff
don't care
doesn't
about that.
matter.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't
if
care.
we're gonna call out Nick on what he's been charging, and we're gonna scrutinize the fact that he's overcharging and everything like that. Which is fair. Which all that's fair. That's fair conversation and everything like that. And we should be doing the same thing with Jason. Jason, how much money have you made since Brian brought you into Seifu? How much money have you made all the way along? We want to see all the records of what you've been paid. Okay, he comes out and he's been like, I've been paid 50 grand. I'd be like, okay, well, I mean, you were doing quite a bit, and I can understand that and everything. But if he's been paid, well, I was paid $1 million. I'd be like, what do you mean? Then it's like, wait a minute. So, okay, people in glass houses should throw stones, dude. But if we're going to talk about that, let's talk about, Jason's part and the rest of them. And that's another thing, too. When it comes to Nacho, and it comes to Bix, and it comes to the remaining people, I truly think that they have been caught up in all of this nonsense. And what Nick has done is contract work and everything like that. I mean, I think he tried to keep his arm's length and everything. We'll talk to Nick. I like Nick. So if Nick doesn't do anything, we don't go with Nick. I think I'm still going to follow Nick, and I want to still have a relationship with him because I think he's a decent guy. You know, I don't. I don't get into my friends' businesses and stuff like that. I imagine I probably have a few friends that might be, might not be. I hope that they're not stealing or anything like that. But this stuff with Jason, it's like I can almost understand that you didn't know what was going on, but you're not saying anything. You haven't said anything, and then you put it all on that Nick is the guy. That's what we're going through. Personally, in my messages that you sent to me, that was the 28th, July 28th. You were saying that we're behind Nick, and his plan is if they vote for him, we're going to follow through on all that. Okay, I got the reassurance from Jason. That's what we're doing. And then Nick
Yep.
was elected, and then sure as shit, we're not following through on it. Like, wait, what happened 20 days ago? 20 days ago is totally different. You mean to tell me you just realized this now? I can go on for a while about it. Chris, yeah. Will Nick be on? Yes. This live is pretty much Nick. This live is going to be at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we sent it to 8 of the YouTubers. So if you're following somebody else or whatever, we can't send it anymore. We have the StreamYard that we have that you can't go to more than 8 destinations. So we just the bunch of these YouTubers. That's where we're sending it. That's their destinations. It's not like we're excluding anybody or anything like that. We just can't do any more than that. And so if it's probably one of the YouTubers you follow. You don't have to come to my live. You don't have to come to my account. Just that's the whole point, is to get the information out there so everybody can see it. Um, uh, Bobtail has a question. I'm just not sure what. I don't know if I
I
can
need a
read it
background.
right.
I've got a good background. It's a shed under construction.
Yeah, my background's all kinds of books and kind of boring stuff. So that's what I put
Yeah,
up this
but
thing, because I'm like,
but but please don't pick on my background. It's the shed that I'm trying to convert to a house, because we just live in a shed. So yeah, you can see the roof and these walls that are
well,
under
isn't
construction.
that white wall behind you? Isn't that like a
No, that's a
blind that you
window.
can open the
Yeah,
window? Yeah,
yeah, that's a window there. Yeah.
yeah. When I see you on there and you got that open, I'm sorry. I get distracted because I'll be looking out that window while you're talking. I'm listening, but I'm like,
You see the paddocks.
yeah.
But
Have
yeah,
you thought
yeah.
about the NFTs and stuff like that we were talking about? Have you?
I've always been thinking about that.
Yeah.
As you know, with I showed you art and that, and so there's different things that I can do. Yes.
Yeah.
So all of those sort of strategies are definitely um, things that are in the pipeline. But my biggest thing is just devs to do with the
Yeah,
NFT
yeah.
platforms and
Hopefully
stuff.
you find
That's
a way
that's
with
the
that.
thing where I just keep having, not that I have issues with. I mean, I have issues finding the dev to do it. Like a lot of when you use like the contract devs, they just want to charge a fortune. But when you obviously, I can't pay a fortune, so you've got to try and work within, like a farm budget means. Like
Yeah. Yeah,
you
but I
can't
think
just do
that I think
radical
the
stuff.
NFTs are something that, man, I just,
Mm,
what, I hope you
mm.
get it worked out. I'm praying for you, Keith. I just want to see it because I think that if you could get those NFTs out, they're collectibles. People will like them. They'll be able to help your community and the calves and the cows, all that kind of stuff. People like that stuff. Hopefully, it gets out there and it's hugely successful and everything like that, and it can be worked out because I'm a big fan of it, and I think people would like that.
Yeah,
They'd
no,
feel like, you know,
obviously your support is greatly appreciated, Chris.
oh yeah,
Absolutely. We're just a small project trying to do our stuff, and just to let everyone know, we've actually got the contract made now to launch onto Grove blockchain. We're just going through a few final little tweaks with the developers at the moment because they've sent me the source code, and we've just been going through it, making sure that it's
yeah.
exactly what
Double
we want.
check all that,
Yeah,
double
yeah,
and triple
yeah,
check, and
yeah,
all
yeah.
that.
And so we're making sure that's right. Bob's going to have a look at it, hopefully.
Oh, that would be
And
awesome.
and so just to make sure
There's other
everything's the way we
people,
want
and
it.
then Brewfied. I
Yeah,
mean, you're in there.
yeah,
You got
yeah.
a
I
lot
know
of
that's
people,
right.
but yeah,
Yeah,
there's a
no,
lot of people in there,
the brew will
and
look after me. They're a good
yeah,
bunch of guys.
yeah,
I get on with them extremely well. And there's some wonderful support out there. Yes, like it's really good. Um, so hopefully, I don't know, within the next week or so, I'll be doing an airdrop, I'd say, for Calf to be on the Grove blockchain. And then, yeah, there's like Chris was alluding to, there's a couple of other things that we're sort of
mhm,
trying to do. But of course, there's a few technical difficulties with sourcing
yeah.
devs that work within the price structure, or
I have
even
faith,
sourcing
man. I
devs
have
in the
faith
first place.
you're gonna work it all out, man. It's gonna be great, and your whole community is gonna be so excited
Yeah.
and happy.
So, but
I see nothing
like
but bright things with you, Keith.
the whole thing about the crypto space, everyone wants the now, the now, the now. Just chill out, guys. It's a marathon, not a race. We'll be right. Obviously you can do your DGen stuff as much as you want, fill your boots. But because I'm sort of exposed to extra people, I'll just let you know that the new calf token on Grove is just a 2% buy and sell tax. So it's 2% both ways. And 100% of that 2% is paid back to you in rewards in Grove coin. So in the blockchain coin. So there's some food for thought. So
That's awesome.
obviously the project earns money because it has a treasury, and the treasury also gets rewards from that as well. So that's how the project gets income to add to LP, etc. So um, that's the way it works. So um, no, you're not buying cows, but because if you buy into calf token, you don't directly as
Darwin, yeah,
us
you get
per,
one.
per se.
Keith delivers it to your house, and you get to like pet it and all that. No,
Join my YouTube, please, guys, and have a look at the videos that I put on there. And if any of you's on TikTok, please follow us on TikTok. The information's in the description for all of the links to that sort of stuff. So please have a look, because most of my TikToks are just full of farm stuff, our animals, and like what we do and that sort of thing. At the moment, we're in a quiet time of the year where there's no new calves coming in. But the end of September is when that all changes again, and there'll be lots and lots of new stuff happening. Um, yeah, just um, help with small projects. Like whether you want to invest or not doesn't matter. Just share my content around to, around on the internet. Like the Twitter and stuff like that. Just please just retweet and just any sort of support is greatly appreciated. And all I can do is say thank you very much. And we're just here trying to do our thing. So
Yeah, you have my complete support as long as you double check your work and all that stuff. And if your community,
yeah,
if you're making your
yeah.
community happy, I will support you 100%. You start doing goofy things in your community, I'm going to call you out on it.
Hey, I've got to do this. I'll soon fix him up. He wants to start going that I'm doing goofy stuff. I'll do this again. I was a bit slow on the. I was trying to find the mouse so I could remove it because
You're like,
you start
I don't
talking.
know how to get him back now. He's really gone.
You start talking like that, I'm going to fix you up. I'll silence you. That's the authoritarian hammer coming down on you.
Yeah, I say that all the time, man. Any kind of power I get, I abuse. So do not give me power anywhere. So when I'm on these lives, I'm easily taken, especially Kryptonian. I have no problem pulling him off.
Do you when you like at the moment you've got the ability to do whatever you want to, don't you, or not?
No, not here. I don't. I'm
Is that why you haven't been bringing up chats and stuff?
No, yeah, I can't. I think you got to be on your team and stuff like that and all that.
Why?
And I try to make everybody that I go live with on my team because I don't really feel like bringing up the chats. I start forgetting about the chats, and then I'm like, guys, start bringing up chats or something. I can't keep.
Going. Now what happens? Is that at the moment I'm only on a free StreamYard, and I can only have 2 people on my team. And so it has restrictions. Like if I could have a project that would earn some sort of reward, then yes, I could expand.
Well, you don't need to have more than 2 people in charge of the comments and stuff. You could have goofy people like me come on and be like
we can set up
that shouldn't.
One thing we couldn't do, Chris, if you actually, I'll put it to you here. I can always set up a 3rd team, and you could be on that team. And
I don't need to be on the team. If you ever want to do a live and you want to have a bunch of people, you want to send to a bunch of destinations, let me know. You can easily come on. Crypto Terry does that. He has a basic account, and when we do his Wednesday night ones, it's really from my account, and we just change the background and add his stuff, and we do his countdown and all that, and people don't know it's actually coming from my account. It's just the information is getting out there. So
but then
if you ever have
that sort of stuff is really
if you ever have a live where you want to invite a lot of people and there's going to be a lot of traffic and everything like that, let me know. You can just
that was earlier on tonight. That was a bit earlier on, but then you were a no-show.
I apologize. I told you. I really felt bad about it. That's the second time that I was talking to Bix, and then it was 4:00 in the morning, and I fell asleep, and then I woke up. I did wake up about I think it was like an hour and 15 minutes into your live, and I was like, and immediately I was like, I feel so bad.
I've got to bring this up because a gift with Thor's poop. You know who Thor is, don't you? Our little goat.
No. Honestly, we all need to just. I think that's funny and everything, but we all just need to leave him alone. Let him do his thing, because we want to do it the right way. We want to do it through the legal system, or we want to do,
But I'm sure the honeypot and fishy rod, if that was there as well, was just self-sent.
That is classic, though. I mean, I was like, actually, if I would have received it, I'd have been like, that is awesome. I like that. I would have sent a thank you note back.
That was just too scripted. Like, there's just no way that was someone in the community sending it to his house.
I guess. Well, the weird part that I have about it, I didn't do much more investigation into it, but I did pause the screen when he put it up, and the address, or not, the license plate on the number. I was able to figure out the address, the web address that he was at, and the number. You take the number and you put the number in, and it's registered to a commercial vehicle. So it could have been a delivery vehicle. I mean, it wasn't like.
That type of vehicle they don't use for delivery vehicles. I rung up like 30 different delivery companies, and they just don't go anywhere near that type of vehicle. So who knows?
Yeah.
So it could be just registered to a business that
right.
So it's a commercial business. So it's like their mates that are gardeners or something like that, and they decided to bring a pot around.
and another thing, I think if it was actually someone in the community, they might even be like. Posting pictures of it or taking credit for it. I mean, I don't know.
It's a
It could have
load.
happened, but
If
people need to leave him alone. Make sure he's
I,
safe. Everything's
I would
fine.
say 99% sure that it was self-delivered.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, like,
But keep him safe. Make sure he's okay. Nobody does
yeah.
any harm to him and everything like that. Let's do it the
No, you
legal
don't do
way.
stupid shit. Like,
Yeah.
you just don't need to do that. You
Not
know,
even death threats or anything. Not. Don't even send the
I
emails. Don't even nothing like
talking
that.
about
Just leave
death
'em alone.
threats, even the shit that they put me through, I
Right.
received so many death threats to
Mhm.
myself and my family, and it was over a pittance. And yet he's got millions. And when I say a pittance, they were talking about the one ordeal, which I supposedly rugged, which was never touched, and I
Right.
have proof of that. And yet I received death threats, and it was incited by himself, who incited the community and reared it up because they wanted the distraction for their own things. And the amount of death threats and shit that I received from members of the community was just horrendous. And
Yeah.
like, unfortunately, I don't really want to say this, but I will, because it's okay for me to say it. But my partner, we had a violent home invasion, where I got all smashed up and stuff. And she suffered a lot with PTSD.
Mhm.
And even though that was like 10 years ago, um, that all came back to it with all these threats and people posting like locations and all of this sort of stuff. It just brought back PTSD stuff. And it was just like, like, you don't realize how much pain you're putting on people, how much anxiety and stuff, all for nothing. There was nothing there for you to do stuff like that. And it was just absolutely stupid. When I'm happy to forgive and forget, that's cool. And a lot of people have apologized to me, and it's not a problem. But it's just like, seriously, guys, come on. It's just like, there's points to it that you just don't need to cross that sort of shit, like, it's just stupid. Um, like,
And I know what you're talking about, and I know this is completely different. And I got to run because I got to get ready for Nick. But isn't it pretty childish what they changed Nick's name to in the
I
Vulcan
haven't
episode?
seen. I haven't
Yeah,
seen.
it went from I think it said team lead to now it's naughty corner.
Oh,
I mean, how childish is that, dude? I mean, makes you think that the whole time, like Brian's behind the scenes. I don't even think
uh,
Jason acts like that. It's like Brian was behind the scenes and did that because I could see that coming right from Brian. But hey, I gotta go. Got to get ready for this live with Nick and everybody else. And I
so you're
appreciate
doing
the
a live
time.
stream with Nick.
You what, buddy?
You're doing a live stream with Nick now.
Yeah, in 15 minutes. Yeah. And then I guess Brian and then Daniel is going on live with Brian at 2. So
So that's on the YouTube.
yep, yep.
Who's going to join you on that live stream?
Well, it's going to eight YouTubers. So they like if it goes to their accounts, they're all like I would expect. I don't expect them. I don't think Greek can join because he's actually on a flight coming back home. But
Yes,
um,
yep.
I would assume all of them, unless we don't hear from them. But they, they all say, "Hey, you can send it to mine." I make sure
Are
I
you
have
able to
permission.
send it to my YouTube as well?
No, I can only
No,
send it to 8 destinations. I know, I know.
I'm not in the purple circle.
Yeah, but you can go live on yours and just show our screen, and you would see the same stuff. You know what I mean? Go do live on through StreamYards and just take the YouTube channel, put it on there, maximize it, take your screen, take you off, just let it go, and it's on your live, and you're good to go. And then you can finish it when we're done or whatever. You can just have your own commentary and talk about it. But
What are you going to ask Nick?
what do you mean? What am I going to ask you? I'm not going to ask you anything. Yeah,
You're just going to listen to what he has to say.
I mean, it'll be. I want the community informed as much as possible. So whatever Nick can say, they want to hear from him and everything like that. If the questions come up, I'll be watching for them. I'll probably be off the screen, and everybody else will let Nick present whatever he wants, so that they have a fair engagement with Nick. And I'll like star any kind of questions or anything like that.
Darwin the turtle, I can only do a little bit. Like I have trouble sharing screens and stuff, and then I do this sort of thing, and it's like, oh no. Like seriously, I'm
Oh
not
my
a
god.
YouTuber as such, so it's just what it is. If you want raw and just sort of more authentic sort of stuff, well, that's all you're going to get. You're not going to get the glitters and the show with me. Like it's just what it is. So yeah, I'm learning all the little intricacies with the how StreamYard and stuff works. I've been doing quite a few live streams, of course. Um a little bit less lately
You know,
because
it's
Paul's
funny
been
when you took
away.
me off the screen, I was going to leave. And when you couldn't bring me back, everybody's going to be like, "He really kicked him off."
You missed your opportunity to run away.
I did. I was like, I saw something. I was like, and then I look back and I'm back on the screen. I'm like, oh shoot, I was
you're
going to
trying
leave.
to save your ears.
I didn't want to hurt you, but hey, I do got to go, buddy, because
Yeah,
I got to
yeah.
get ready for it. I
All
appreciate
right.
you.
Love you lots, Chris. Thank you very much. Cheers
Take
for your
care,
support.
everybody, and I'll see you soon, buddy.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, just before I'm going to nick off, can I get in my little plug? Please join my YouTube. It's only a small little channel with I've got 203 odd subscribers now. And you know, like, please subscribe, follow my TikTok and things like that. The information's in the description. So yeah, please check that out and have a look. I'm just a small person trying to do a big task. We run a real cause and do that sort of stuff. So, you know, like, I don't care if you do or don't invest. That's totally up to you guys. But I'll never expect anyone to do any of that. But, you know, the more follows and spreading I can get within the community, it helps me a lot. Because, like I say, I'm only a small project and we're trying to do big stuff. So, yeah, if you wouldn't mind just, you know, offering that in return, that would be greatly appreciated. Even if you never look at me YouTube or stuff, you know, you obviously are free to do whatever you want with your time. But it's just know from me, it's greatly appreciated if you do that. But yeah, it's in your name, Zero. Cool. It's Zero. Oh, it's funny when Prado was going on about Zero. Thanks, mate, for the yeah. Thank you very much, Darwin. Thanks, Riley. Yeah. No, it's great to see you guys here. It's a shame that I couldn't get Bix. If you're in Brew, you would have seen me. I was trying. Oh, I'll check, see if I don't think even Prado responded. No, Prado didn't respond to me. So as soon as I said one or the other or whatever, I haven't had a response. So I have no idea. So unfortunately, I can't give any answers. You'll just have to see his live stream, and yeah, him not replying to me sort of speaks volumes to me, though, because yeah, I don't know, like, I've supported him a lot behind the scenes. I've said that on live streams before. You know, I don't go into the politics of supporting a project as such, but supporting the person who is able to design a project and to launch a project and run a project. By all means, you got my support. As long as you don't do stupid shit and rip off the community, well, then we're there. So, but anyway, I'll leave you guys to it. Thank you very much for joining in. It's hugely appreciated. Take care. Love you all. Thank you for any support. Cheers. See you later.